Okay, this is Peadee's live stream for Scrolls. First things first, I've been messing around with my growth deck, and I've got it to a slender 54 cards, which is the best I've ever been able to do. I'll just go over what I have quickly. I got one copy of Ancestral Totem. Unfortunately, it's the only copy I have. 3 copies of Bear. Oh, Ancestral Totem is a structure, but it gives everyone on the field, all units, a buff, a +1, all creatures, I should say. Then we have this Bear Paw enchantment, and this gives +2 to attack and +2 health. I have 3 copies of that. I have 1 copy of Binding Root, which is a really good defensive spell, which prevents the enchanted unit from changing rows. I have 3 copies of Brother of the Wolf, which is a pretty powerful unit as for a creature as far as attacking goes, but also can summon ragged wolves as instead of doing his regular attack action. 2 copies of Champion Ring. I wonder if I should go ahead and put 3 up. Let's see, champ. Oh, I guess I don't have a 3rd one. Okay, well that's why I only have 2. 2 copies of Crimson Bowl, which is an attack buff. You get all units get +2 to attack until the end of the turn. This is Druid Burial Ground, which I got through trading. It's a structured unit. It has 5 hearts, but it also heals 1 heart every turn for all adjacent units. So it's a pretty powerful card, especially if you can get multiples. 2 copies of Dryatic Power, which is another enchantment that gives a +1 attack bonus, but also +3 health. It comes at the cost of not allowing that unit to move rows ever again. So it's a really good thing to cast early in the game when you just have like someone like Frostbeard who can't. He only has 1 heart but has a really strong attack. I have 1 copy of Elan Vital, which is a health buff that gives you +1 health, or heals 1 health every round. 2 copies of the Eternal Statue, which is just a structure for blocking. It has 4 hearts, but it heals itself 1 heart every round. 2 copies of Eye of the Eagle, which is a spell that allows you to pull the next creature from your library into your hand at the cost of 1 resource point. I have 1 copy of Fertile Soil, which costs 4 resource points, but allows you to sacrifice a creature that you have played on the board and draw 3 scrolls. So if you have someone like the Brother of the Wolf spamming out wolves, and you have a bunch of wolves, or you have something that you know is going to get killed and isn't even good for blocking at that point, you can sacrifice it and then get 3 scrolls in exchange. Frostbeard, which you just mentioned, he has 1 heart. He does 6 attack, but it does take 3 rounds for him to charge up and do his cooldown. I have 1 copy of God Hand, which I've actually literally never played. It takes 8 resource points. All the units gain +2 to attack until the end of the turn, and they have their countdown decreased by 2. So basically it lets almost everyone on the field attack at once. Vitality Well, which is just a healing structure. It also has haste on it, so as soon as you deploy it, it heals everyone 1 point, and then every 3 rounds after that it heals another point. I have 3 copies of Great Wolf, and he's relentless, which of course means that he gets to continue to attack until all of his attack points are used up. Which he only has 3 attack, which isn't that impressive until you realize that he gets a +1 to attack for every other wolf played on the field, and that's where Brother of the Wolf comes in, and all the other guys here. I have 2 copies of a defensive structure called Eelthorn, which causes 1 damage when you attack it. I have 2 copies of Junkyard, which is just a structure and doesn't do anything special except buff rats, which I don't have any in my hand, but it's still a structure, which will prevent someone from breaking through farther in the lines. 3 copies of the Kinfolk Brave, which is probably one of the best low-level cards you can get. He has 2 attack. He has 2 hearts, but he attacks every round. His cooldown is 1 round, so he attacks, and the next round he immediately attacks again. You give him a health buff or an attack buff like Champion Ring, or both, because they're stackable. He can really tear apart some stuff really quickly. Kinfolk Jarl, I have 2 copies of this unit, and he costs 7 resources to deploy. His attack is 3, his cooldown is 2, and he has 6 hearts. But for every creature adjacent to the Kinfolk Jarl, you can add +1 to your attack. 2 copies of the Kinfolk Veteran, who gets a 3 attack. He has a 2-round cooldown. He has 4 hearts, but he gets to attack the round he's deployed. He has haste, so there's 2 of those guys. Let's see, 3 copies of Mangy Wolf, which has 2 attack, 2-round cooldown, 3 hearts, but when he deals damage, he gets 1 heart of healing. So no matter if he hits an idol, the enemy idol, or just another unit, he gets healed. But the most important aspect of the Mangy Wolf is that he decreases cooldown for other wolves that are on the board. He decreases their cooldown by 1 when he comes into play. So a lot of times that will mean that you can play him. You know, I hold these guys in my hand and I play them so that when I want my other wolves to be able to attack all at once. I have 2 copies here of Quake, which costs 6 resource points but deals 3 damage to all structures and 2 damage to all creatures. It's a really great thing for when you're fighting, say, the energy units, you know, because they'll get a lot of heavy units out there, and you can do 3 damage to all structures, and a lot of times it'll really reset the board, and it's kind of a game changer in mid to late game. Let's see here, Ragged Wolf. I have 3 copies of that. He's just an early game item. He only does 1 attack. He has a 2-round cooldown. He's 2 hearts, but he has haste, so he gets to attack right away. So he's a nice finishing unit, and also he buffs the Great Wolf, so that's an important aspect to remember. 3 copies of Rallying, which costs 5 resource points, but it's very important because all units you control have their countdown decreased by 2 when you play it. So basically, it's another card that you can play back to back. Like you can play Rallying, and then you can play a Mangy Wolf, or vice versa, and really just keep attacks flowing and really just clean up the board. 2 copies of Ranger's Bane, which I like to play. It poisons a unit 1 heart for 3 rounds. So if you have something tough that's, you know, well defended, you can poison it. Or if you didn't quite get to kill something, you can poison it, and that will take care of it. 3 copies of Father of the Wild, which only has a 1 attack and 1 heart and a 2-round cooldown, but he adds a point of growth while he's in play. So it's a cheap way to get extra growth.